Holla, holla, holla. Hope you guys are well. Got Joel selling in the background here. And the Jim from the Edge of Tech with a tripod garage hat on. So I'm just going to wait for a couple of minutes. Hello there. Yes, we are back. Hello, hello. Good. I'm glad the stream is better. And I think I want to keep going on about it. But I think the stream issue was very much down to Streamlabs, which is the software that I use. So fingers crossed. We should be okay now. Right, I'm just going to stop the moving. Let's get the live chat up here as well. Hey, Joel. Okay, so I'm just waiting for this to cool down. We're at 39 degrees at the moment on the hot end. We do have a Benchy here. Now, this is a 24-minute Benchy. We can probably try and make that a bit quicker. We've got AMS, we've got bed leveling, we've got flow calibration as well. We know we're selecting PLA, and the same goes really for this, that we have got the... Hang on a second, let me just double check this. So yeah, 17-minute Benchy. This one actually says 15 minutes on it. Again, we've got the full calibration, 220 degrees, 60 degrees on the bed, 15 minutes, 3.8 meters. Again, 24, and it gives you the, it gives you the 11.7 grams. Incidentally, on the K1, it doesn't give you the weight, but this also then doesn't give you the meterage. So, whatever. Here we go. Right. 24 people watching. Let's get straight on into this then. Bear with me for a minute. Just trying to make sure I can see the track. They do look good together, don't they? I'm kind of inclined to maybe tell you what, on Saturday we'll get the P1, we'll get a couple of P1Ps out as well, and we'll have a play around with those. So we are all at temperature. This is room temperature now. Let's just double check and make sure that the Bambu Labs is operational. It is. I use 3D lac on my prints. So there you go, job done. Easy as that. So let's try and do this together. Like, the door on this does feel a lot more hench than the Creality one. Just as a side note there. So that's hit the button and go. Here we go. Here we go. Are you ready? If you wanted to change collar, where is the parking print head? I don't know. We haven't got that far yet. I'll just take that filament off of there. I'd hope that it would be front right. Just make sure we've got enough. You can see everything that's going on. Isn't the X1 3 times the price? It is. Certainly if you have the AMS. You're going to see quite a lot of wobbling now, I'd imagine, especially with these doors open. I did notice with the Creality, though, it does tend to pull the door back in. So we are at 210 degrees on the X1 Carbon at the moment, but again, it's still got to do all the messing around. It's also loading the filament right now on the AMS system. So, all right, I get that the Creality hasn't got the AMS system, but it is what it is. So it's got a purge, it's got to do a little poo, and then we should be into printing pretty much straight away. Annoyingly, the chat seems to just keep going away. That's annoying. Right, I'm going to move that out of the way. There. I'm going to grab my laptop, and I'm going to watch this and have a look at what the stream is looking like. So we're at 250 degrees on the X1 Carbon. Obviously, we've got the door open as well. And as I said before, if you've only just tuned into the stream, Creality at the moment are not unlocking the UI for... There's a bit of filament stuck in there. I'm not unlocking the UI at the moment for you to access their Creality OS, which, as we all know, is Clipper-based. Right, so let's have a look. Both have to go through the calibration process. They do. I mean, you can switch it off, but fair's fair, isn't it? Let's see what goes off first, though. At the moment, it doesn't look like anybody's really winning. Maybe the bed was a bit lower down. We're talking seconds, though. Look how much crud I've got in the bottom of my printer. So I think the K1 will be an option for printed parts as they don't need support on multiple filaments. My phone started ringing then, I do apologise. P1P might be more comparable with the price and compact. Yeah, Eric, I totally agree with you there. And we will get to that. I've got 4 P1Ps in the room with me at the minute. But to be honest with you, from a X1 carbon standpoint, Creality are kind of trying to go after them with the LiDAR elements. I sort of feel like that's the thing. So, yeah. Yeah, the stream's not too bad, is it, today? It's looking all right. Okay, we're now getting into bed leveling and input shaping and all that kind of crazy stuff. The auto bed leveling is now happening on the X1 carbon. And of course, we've still got to do the sweeping XY and the calibration of the extrusion, etc., etc. LiDAR is not worth the money. I totally agree with that. Eric, thank you very much. It is better than yesterday, and I am deeply sorry that my stream quality offended so many people. But there's not a huge amount I can really do about that. And I do believe it was down to StreamYard. So at the moment, this is streaming off my phone. So at the moment, we're just streaming straight to YouTube. Stream loads better than usual. Cool, okay. Well, maybe that's the answer. I just need to stream off my phone from now on, right? Someone asked me this morning what I thought of the K1 as a printer. My initial response was fast, scary, and windy, like a crazy ex-girlfriend. Just posted this to Twitter as well, because we do love a tweet. Again, this is a good way of looking at things regarding the time it takes for both machines to obviously do their calibration and actually physically get printing. And I think it's going to be pretty damn similar. So we're both bed leveling at the same time now. So we hit the button at the same time. You know, we're marginally comparable with times to actually physically print. I think if they open up Clipper, it would be a good printer from a crimp farm. You know what? The weird thing is the CRM4 is a print farm printer. And I was like, I don't get it. And when they sent me that printer, I'm actually really, really impressed. All right, it's a bed slinger. It's a big bed slinger. We're doing the input shaping now on the X1 Carbon. That's the farting noise that you can hear, which is teamed with the poop shoot, as you can imagine. Phil, I reckon this is the answer. We're just going to stream off our phones from now on. So Bambu Labs X1 Carbon is now into the X and Y calibration, while the K1 is still doing the bed leveling. We've obviously still got to do the calibration of the extrusion and sweep around on the LiDAR, which is hopefully just about to do. Here we go. But then again, of course, I thought it was Jim. So we got on the left-hand side, we've got Joel, and we've got Jim on the right here. So we are about to start printing well, we are printing, I guess, on the X1 carbon, but it's still doing the calibration of the extrusion. So what is an acceptable level? Oh, it's going to be close on this one. Here we go. Let's just see what it's doing. We're now hitting up to 210 degrees on the K1. We're now doing the LiDAR dance with the X1 carbon. And the K1 is just ahead. We've got our first layer line being printed right now. And here we go. The Benchy has started. So anybody that had that question, I tell you what, the print immediately looks better. 100% going to be down to the fact that the filament is of a better quality. X1 carbon, we're still messing around with the old calibration at the minute, and once it's happy with that, we'll hopefully start the print. Okay, it's just doing its line on the outside now, and the X1 carbon is now away. This feels like a race. The X1 carbon has a prettier inside, but the K1 has a prettier outside. I missed that comment. It went away just as I was reading it. But Bambu screen looks better. Yeah, it isn't as reflective either. So now what's happened? Now we're going to inspect the first layer. So again, we're still messing around with the Bambu Labs while we are into 6% with the K1 already. I think this is a good test. Right, and we're back to it now. X1 carbon is now taking off. I feel like I'm at the Grand National now. And guess what? I think the K1 nozzle has just blocked. It has. Do you think the Bambu Labs filament has blocked that? It has just blocked it. Oh dear. Okay. That sucks. That really sucks. So there was a pinch. So we're going to stop this. That sucks. That really sucks. Wow, it doesn't like being stopped. Hear that? Okay, let's whip the plate out. For some reason, that just completely jammed and stopped. I don't know what caused that. We had an okay first layer. And literally, as soon as I took the top off, it looks like it's pinched somehow on that. I don't quite understand what happened there, but it did start extruding pretty much soon after. So let's see if we can play catch up. So if we go back to that, we go back to the Benchy, we don't do the calibration this time, and we just hit print. Let's see how quick we can get this thing to do the catch up. And I'll just double check that again. That was weird. It was a good start. Got to do it over. Do you want me to just stop it and do it again? I think we'll just carry on because we know ultimately that the K1 is going to be slightly quicker. Let's see what we get. Wonder how the spaghetti detection will work on the camera. Yeah, exactly. I don't even know if it will work that way. And again, it's got to be a Creality camera, according to what Creality said earlier. And again, I know I keep banging on about it, but if you have just joined us, Creality have let me know today that they are not opening up the UI for you to operate their Creality Clipper or Creality OS at the moment. They're going to wait and see what happens before they start allowing people to start messing around with the web interface, which is annoying. So this is interesting. So we've got 15 minutes left on the X1 Carbon. We've had a jam on the K1, just to give you a synopsis of exactly what's going on. So potentially here, we could have a catch-up on the K1 if we get this printing in the next couple of seconds. It seems to be just purging some filament at the back there at the moment. I haven't turned the calibration off before, so we'll have to wait and see. Here we go. It's doing something. Bambu looks much pro and much quality than Creality. Bambu filament sabotages K1. News just in. Creality keeps being Creality. I love this. Right, I'm caught up with the chat. Well done, guys. Thank you for bearing with me on this one. Okay, although I've turned the calibration off, it seems to be doing some kind of calibration, and I don't know if that's just for the bed. What I could have done, of course, is paused the X1 carbon. Never mind. Hopefully we go straight into it. I can't see how we'd need another bed leveling at this point. It seems to be doing it though. So even turning the calibration off, does that just mean the X and Y calibration isn't being done? Is it still going to go around and do its whole thing? It was interesting though, because on the hot end on this, there's a locking mechanism. So when you put the filament in, you have to lock it into place, and that was definitely locked into place, and it extruded. So it's weird that that got caught up. Now at the back of this, and I'll show you on the, this, you have got this little cutout on the side here, and well, I'm guessing that it's okay. Here we go. I'm guessing either it got caught on that, or somehow the filament got jammed. Here we go, and we're off again. There's a fly. Did you see that? Okay, we are off. Maybe UI checkbox of calibration isn't connected yet. Maybe it's not, or it forces the bed leveling after cancelling the print. Here we go, though. Wait for that fan to kick in. So we have got filament being extruded at the moment. Again, like I say, the quality of the Bambu filament does seem to be a lot better than the Creality stuff. It always seems to be almost opaque, that white. And the fan's kicking in. I'm just going to check the filament just to make sure that nothing's blocked up. Seems okay to me. Don't forget, guys, if you are new around here, perhaps like and subscribe. Remember, guys, it's not a direct comparison since the K1 battle is the P1P, not the X1. Yep, okay, fair enough. Well, don't worry about that. I can always just pull out a... It seems to be okay so far. But again, this 15-minute Benchy, or 17-minute Benchy, is with Creality's filament. I'm seeing some gaps already. This is so weird. So this is interesting. So bear in mind now, we're using Bambu filament on the left-hand side, and we are getting major layer issues with this. Like some seriously bad layer issues. It is still printing, but it's not printing well. I will say again, let me grab the filament. So the filament that I have been using in the Creality printer is this stuff, and it is the Hyper PLA in white. So whether or not that's going to make a difference, but you can see that, it looks dreadful. I mean, isn't that ironic that the Bambu filament doesn't seem to work that well with the Creality K1? And there's nothing blocked. The filament is feeding through fine. Must have sent you a special. I can only put it down to a fast flow filament. That's the only thing I could put that down to. And again, when it's slowing, you're seeing more. Creality is definitely faster. Filament tuning, yeah, but I mean, come on. Filament tuning? I think this boat is going to sink. And it's going to get faster before it gets slower. I mean, the only other thing I can try and do is maybe up the temperature a little bit. Let's put it up to 230. Under extrusion, major under extrusion. You're right. Here's the thing though, you know, the extruder is still pulling the filament through. I can visibly see that on the back. What speed settings are used in the X1 Carbon? This is their stock Benchy, so whatever the stock is to produce that print, that's what I'm using. Is the Bambu in ludicrous mode as fast as the one? That's a good idea, that's an interesting thing. We're at 67% on that. Now I can whack that in if you want me to. Let's do it. Let's whack it into ludicrous mode. Missed that. I have a tough Creality user slice of the Benchy. Might not be able to in real life example. Might be. I mean, again, this is what I'm saying is that ultimately the only thing that's really different here is the filament at this point. But that is atrocious, 100% atrocious. Again, it could be a block, which is kind of weird. Maybe these steps are different from the Bambu's PLA. I don't know. I think it all should. I mean, printing right now at a slightly slower speed, the quality is definitely better. And as soon as this is finished printing, I'll show you the both of them, and we can be sort of super critical. K1 can have LiDAR. Yeah, but I don't even think that the LiDAR is going to make a blind bit of difference with that. I think it's it's so weird. Right now, that top part of the Benchy, the whole part, is not so bad, but it is printing slightly slower there. Hey, at least it's not a full-on fail, right? Test the hyper. Yeah, the thing is, though, I don't know if that would be a good test, though, if I tested the hyper on that. What would that prove? See, on the slower speeds, it's looking a bit better, and also we've upped the temperature a little bit. I mean, the chances are also, you know, some of that black stuff, the crud that I was getting out of the nozzle, could potentially have caused a partial blockage. The front of the boat doesn't look so bad now. I don't think I'd want to go sailing in it though. So we are 3 minutes away from the X1 Carbon finishing the Benchy. And we are also in ludicrous mode now, of course, on the Benchy, on the X1 Carbon. The K1 slice file is cheating big time. It's only one parameter and 5% infill. Yep. You're right. You're completely right. But for whatever reason now, it seemingly is printing quite nicely. The top element of this now, so the top element on the part here, doesn't look too bad. But we shall see. Let's get it going. Let's finish this off. Brian suggested that I slice my own files to compare. Like I said earlier, Creality have literally just given me the files for Prusa Slicer. I don't really want to use their Creality OS. So on Saturday, myself and Phil from 3DP UK will be doing some tests, and we'll go through the machines. I'll talk about the P1P, I'll talk about the X1 Carbon, and we'll talk about the K1. Look at what the significant differences are, and see what's what really. The cloud printing thing for me, as I said previously, and keep banging on about, is quite an important thing for me. And I don't know if Creality's cloud does that as well as Bambu does. But it's not looking too bad on these last bits. It's really weird that would have a block, and I'm curious to see if there's any kind of crud that's built up just before that finishes. We're on to the last couple of sections now. Creality has a shaky start. Did you find a way of slowing down the speed in the settings? I didn't. We can have a look though. So there doesn't seem to be. I mean, I think they'll work that forward on the slicer, but there doesn't seem to be a way to slow that down on the settings right now, or certainly in that I can't see it anyway. Yeah, 230 degrees, 50 degrees on the hot end, 26 degrees inside the printer itself, and the motor's switching off the Z. And we've just finished our Benchy on the X1 Carbon. So let's pull that out. Yeah. Pop him down. Interesting stuff. The Benchy shakes like crazy when you're printing fast too. It would be nice to compare that. Well, really and truly, I'd like to have a nice Benchy out of the K1. So we'll see if we can get that done. Again, like I said, the next thing for me is going to be sorting out Prusa Slicer, importing the settings into that, and obviously dialing this printer in so I can actually print my own stuff. Same goes really. What's this? Hey, so we did an upgrade. Interestingly enough, we did an upgrade on the Bambu Labs, and it basically is giving you an option now to tell the printer if there was printing issues. So first layer detect, spaghetti failures or purged filament pileup in shoot. There was none of those things. So there we go. We are still plugging away here. I didn't expect this to be a long stream, but here we are. pop this back in. And I think the only way to maybe run a next test is possibly by putting in, let me know what you think about in the comments. What should I do next? Because I sort of almost feel like it's a, from here the Benchy looks like clicker sloop. The Benchy shows like crazy. Yeah, it does. It's not good. The Benchy, certainly on the bottom parts, on the first bit, it was weird. It seemed to go okay, then it went to crap, and then now it's kind of tried to improve. But as I say, the Creality Hyper PLA, is that what's really making the difference here? I don't know. What we could try is I could literally take this off the bed now, finish it off, then we can whack this back on again and see if we can do, you know, the speed calibration on it and see if that's back to normal. I don't know. Let me know what you want to see in the comments though. Thanks, Eric. Appreciate you joining us here. And as I say, you know, it is what it is. I was hoping that it would just be a lovely comparison, but yeah, it doesn't look great. It looks like there's a little bit of ringing in there as well. And again, we didn't do the input shaping calibration on this one this time. But we just look at the Benchy that the Bambu spat out, and we've got a couple of small little lines here, but nothing that's really obscene. I'm not a big Benchy fan, to be honest with you, but there you go. I want to see my address on the K1 box. Maybe a quick nozzle swap is in order. Yeah, possibly. The thing is with that, though, is that I don't think they sent me a spare nozzle. And I believe this is a high-flow nozzle. It's damn quick. It is damn quick. So we just close that one up for a moment because we're going to go and concentrate back on the K1. Let's zoom on in a little bit. Let's move on in. Is there a quality difference that you can see when you up the speed on the X1 Carbon? Yeah, funny you should say that, because I think we went into ludicrous mode around this line. And if we can get that in the right light. Hey, Marvel 3D. Yeah, I mean, if I can get it in the right light, you can see there is a distinctive line. There is a world out there with a K1 just doesn't stack up against anything the Bambu has to offer. From a price point, it's great. That went in. Are they both 0.4 nozzles? They are both 0.4 nozzles. Somebody was saying earlier that this Benchy is printed at 0.25. They cheated a little bit. It's 5% infill and only one layer line, whereas this is 2 layer lines. I think it's still 5%. But the quality difference is noticeable. Never buy the first batch of anything. That's what I like to say, which is why we get them for free, right? The thing is, though, you know, I've got that, the QD, and they emailed me and said, don't do any more testing, don't do a video, just leave it. So I've now got this massive printer just sat in my man cave at the moment at home. That actually had this printer sat on it last night. Well, here we go, guys. So let me know what you guys think about it in the comments. Shall I just whack the old filament back in and see if we can do maybe another one of these speed testers, because the quality on that is epic? And am I now to assume that perhaps at certain speeds you'll need to slow it down because the filament potentially is causing issues? And by that I mean, is there a print limit? But the first batch of Bambus are quite impressive, right? Yeah, exactly. Okay, let's pop it off. I'll show you what I mean. Oh my God. It's worse than it looks. I don't even know if I can take it off the bed without breaking it. Oh boy, hang on a minute. Let me get something to get this off. And while we're doing that, I'll just pop the bed back on. I'll finish that. I'm on the fence on the X1 Carbon. So this, ladies and gentlemen, is the K1 Benchy. The time difference was, so this is what happened. So just to go through it very, very quickly. We decided that we would change, so this is the K1, this is the Bambu Labs. We figured we would change the Creality given Hyper PLA with just Bambu Matte PLA. And I don't know what went down there, but all of a sudden, as soon as we put it on, it started to have an issue, literally just around the first or second layer. Then, of course, we decided to stop it, and I just double checked everything, and everything was in. It wasn't pinched. It wasn't, you know, for some reason it felt like it was a partial block. Now I will go back and reference to what I was saying before. If you look at one of the speed tests here, we do have, is it this one or is it the other one? We do have, not so much on this one, a little bit of black, a few little black marks that's come in. Yes, please, because it was not a comparison. The filaments, oh, hang on a minute. So, hang on a minute. So, let me just read that again. So, Maker 3D Dreams. Sorry, boss. What are you asking me to do? Are you asking me to reprint this now? Or would you rather I put the old filament in? I'm happy to do this one last thing. And then I want to go and get some lunch. So, please swap the filament colour to make it easier for the detail. So, are you saying not to use the Creality filament and to use another random filament that I've got here? Reprint just the first. All right, okay. But that's fair. Let's do, what should we do? See what we've got. What have we got here? Let me see what filament I've got knocking about. I have got, so I've got some Polymaker green, which is kind of a weird thing. Well, compare the K1 first Benchy with the Bambu one. Yeah, sure. Okay, all right, let's do that then. So here we go. This is what came off the print bed. As you can see there, weirdly strange under extrusion. It's like an accordion, this at the moment. Can you turn off the PA and first layer detection on the X1 Carbon? Yes, I can, but the results are still going to be the same. That's the Benchy that I just printed. That was the Benchy that I printed before. To be honest, the quality on the Bambu printers across the board on all of the printers that I've got from them, and that's 6 of these, have been exceptional within a level. I wasn't expecting this though. I thought this was just going to crack on. So we're going to try a different filament and still carry on with the Benchy. I think that's what we're going to do. So are we happy with this green? So it's a bit of a silky colour. Just to get a closer speed comparison. Well, okay. Let's try it. Try the bad filament in the Bambu. I can do that as well. Let's do that then. Okay, we'll try the bad filament in the Bambu and see how that looks out. Let's get into this, get to the extruder. Let's retract the filament. We're going to do that now. Then I'm going to then move the filament that's in this into the Bambu, which I can do very, very quickly. We're running on the AMS anyway. Let's take that one out. So this is the filament that was in the Bambu. We'll move that out. And we're just waiting for that to knock out this bit of filament. So the filament that's coming out of the K1 is here. I'll just cut the end off before I feed it into the AMS. There we go, job done. Pop that into here. Okay, so the extruder now is kicking out some white filament, which we were using before. I will say though, I have had moments with the bamboo where I've set something up to be a bamboo filament and then put a generic PLA in there, and it has had similar issues. So this isn't an exact science, I would say. Thanks, David. Appreciate that. Hello, Matt. Hope you're well, mate. Right, we're just going to whack the green in then. Now we've done that. Okay, I'm just going to push it through rather than extruding it out, because it went on for ages last time. So let's just get rid of the white out there. Hopefully you can see that. Okay, the green is just starting to come through now. I'm going to leave that about there, and we're going to lock that back into place now, and that is locked in. Good. Okay. So let's whip that out. Let's give it a little bit of 3D lac. Let's put a bit of 3D lac on the X1 carbon as well. We're literally going to print that again. Let's move this back a tiny bit. So we're going to try this test again, right? So we might as well do it both at the same time again. We've got a local drive here with the Benchy on it now. That's 15 minute there, 15 minute there. Okay, so like I say, guys, this is, we go through, oops, sorry, chaps. We'll go through this very, very quickly. Let me check that. 136 at the moment. Shut off the pressure advance. Okay. Flow calibration, turn that off. We're using AMS anyway. Bed leveling, we're happy to do that because it'll work on both of those regardless. 97 people watching. Thank you very much, guys. If you do like this kind of content, I do all kinds of crazy things. So don't forget to maybe like and subscribe. That's my little bit of pushing there just for the channel, because if you can help, why not? Right, let's move these things over and go through this now. So just to go through it again, we've now got green PLA that's in here, which is a Polymaker version. We've now got the failed PLA from Bambu Labs that was on the K1 that produced this now in the, okay, raise the temp and start, or is it likely to fail again on the K1? I don't know. I do not know, but we'll keep an eye on it and we'll see. So we're at 109 at the moment. On the Bambu Labs, we're at 31, so it's nice and cold at the second in time. I'm just going to hit the button. So 11 is fine, it's close to the P1P offers. Again, Jared, I have got a P1P here. Do I put this in ludicrous mode is the other thing as well? Let me know. So if I put this in ludicrous mode, we are printing with the older stuff, so let's hit this button again. Let me know if you want me to put it into ludicrous mode. It seems that Bambu quality can't be compared. Well, I'm happy to try and compare it. Tell me how you want me to do it. Right, let's hit the buttons then. So we're not going to do the calibration on this time. We're going to turn that off. And that means that the input shaping will be affected. We're definitely sure we're going to be happy with that. Do we want flow calibration on? I won't do that. You know what? I think I should leave them on. I think I should leave them on. I'll subscribe to the stream when I'm fully satisfied. Dude, I hope I satisfy you. in the best possible way that I can. Thanks, Collie, I appreciate that. I'm not twisting your arm or anything, guys. Don't worry about it. I get it. So here we go. We are off again on an adventure between the Creality K1 and the Bambu Labs X1 Carbon. These are both flagship models to their relevant companies at this very moment and point in time. We do have a significant speed difference and acceleration difference between the two. It is a race to the bottom, in my opinion, on what should be faster. And like I've said previously, you know, are we speeding up, but mechanically, are we affecting the print in different ways? And certainly if you look at this print here, it's not good. It's not good. Those screens and the UIs look awfully similar. And I will say again, I did a stream last night. It's me and I think one other guy, and I forget his name, really nice guy. He reached out to me last night. Nathan, his name is. Nathan's Robotics, I think it is. Check him out. I think he's got the K1. He's the only other one with the K1 at the moment. The rest of the big influencers out there, ladies and gentlemen, are at TCT in Chicago. We are in ludicrous mode at the moment as well. So it's a reasonably good comparison, I would say, at this point in time. So that's why a lot of people haven't streamed these yet. I'm sure they've got them. I'm sure they're going to be very, very happy with them. And I hope we all get the same kind of results here. But we are currently moving forwards. We're bed leveling and flexing about. I did leave the X and Y stuff on, mainly because I would rather show you a decent print using the full capabilities and settings than just lazily not. Should be getting mine off. Everyone's bought one from Creality. Mate, you're the last. That's why you're coming on. So Phil's going to join me on the stream on Saturday. I'm picking him up at 12 lunchtime on Saturday. And I imagine we get back here, back to the studio. I'll set some lighting up and stuff, and then we just get cracking with these. And in that comparison video, we'll have... Do people drink Pepsi? I don't get it. Sorry, Eric, I don't get that one, mate. We'll have the P1P, we'll have the Bambu Labs X1 Carbon, and we'll probably be doing more than printing benchies. You'll be possibly glad to know. I'm just going to squirt a bit of that in there, just in case I didn't. Jared asks if I've got the Hydra mod. I do not have the Hydra mod, and if you saw my last Bambu Labs video that I made where I was building a battle droid from Star Wars in 4 days. Normally takes about 6 weeks to build these things. 4 printers, 4 days. Oh, we've got some build up of crud on there already. Let's get rid of that. Do have a bit of nozzle wiping on that. As I say, yeah, we managed to munch through 12 kilos of Polymaker PLA filament across 4 printers on 4 days. And as I say, I didn't use the AMS for any of that stuff. I just basically fed the big 3 kilo spool straight into the back of the printer. The Creality slicer is not the Cura slicer. And again, like I say, I asked Creality a bunch of questions last night. They came back to me this morning. There are several things that I want to bring to your attention. Number one, there apparently is no color palette that's going to be available for this that is planned at this point in time. I think they're busy getting the K1 and the K1 Max ready for people to buy. If they do one, it will be a little bit longer down the line. Happy Star Wars Day to you as well, dude. Yeah, there's the 3D Chameleon. People keep talking about that. I haven't seen that technology myself, so I don't want to comment too much on it, but it looks great and sounds fantastic. So if it works, it works. Awesome. The other thing is that they currently have not opened up the web UI to this printer. So that kind of sucks. But it's exactly what they did with the Creality Clipper pad, the Sonic pad, when they brought that out. They didn't open it up. Now I think they've sort of slightly opened it up. Can I say happy birthday to Collie? Yes, I can. Happy birthday, Collie. Hope you're having a good day. The X belts on the K1 look like they are on an angle. Maybe it's the camera angle. Here's the thing with that. They are 6mm with a 9mm pulley. So you're going to get a little bit of flexing, I think, as the nozzle moves around. The other thing I've noticed, there is a bit of crud build-up that's happening in this corner and that corner on those pulleys. And again, they really should be clean and clear, because otherwise you're going to get deviations on your print. 117 people watching. Thank you very much, guys. Hope you're having a good day. It's been a weird day. I literally got no sleep. And the stream finished at 11. I was up at 6. And here we are at 1 o'clock in the afternoon in the UK time. I wish Bambu would hurry up and release their XL. They, my friends, are not being complacent. And although I have no official word, I can absolutely 100% guarantee you they are not sitting back on their laurels thinking that everything is okay and fine. Right, so all the messing around is almost done now. This is the most painful part for me, all the setup and the bed leveling and the X and Y calibration. But, of course, we want a benchy like this. We don't want a benchy like that. That's kind of like the extension version. It's sort of weird, isn't it? Strange. The rods look thicker on the K1. Can you confirm? No, the rods are... Oh, hang on. They're about the same, actually. They are about the same. Now, the vibrator has been done on the X1 carbon. You can never have too many benches. Chris, I absolutely hate printing benches, but it's a medium that people understand and people like. Bambu is hard work. They aren't Proust and Creality. They're going to sit on their laurels. Yeah, exactly. They're a business. This is, you know, they're not sitting around doing nothing. Now, this is interesting. That calibration doesn't look amazing. So could it have been the filament? We're going to have to wait and see. We're doing the LiDAR now. I've never printed a Benchy in my life. I got my first printer 4 or 5 years ago. What you should do, PTS roller coaster case, you should print a really, really big one and give it to somebody as a Christmas present. $35C on a textured bed does not work. Okay, that's what it says here. But again, you know, you normally would have the chamber closed, right? Let's see what it's going to say. Here we go. We are off. The Creality is ahead this time. And we have started printing. We're now on the K1 printing up to 210 degrees before it very much starts its very, very first push on this boat race. Inspecting the first layer now on the Creality X1 carbon. Sorry, on the Creality X1 carbon? This is how tired I am, guys. On the Bambu Labs X1 carbon. Filament exposure melting failed. Filament exposure melting failed. The laser reflection is too weak on the material. First layer inspection might be inaccurate. We are running a textured bed though on that. It seems to be pushing forward. Right, we are away with the green now. It's the green boat versus the white boat. And this seems to be printing quite nicely so far, ladies and gentlemen. Very, very happy with the speed on both of these printers at the moment. Hey, Wexter. Hope you're well, dude. I've got a video coming up and I printed your new Mandalorian figure. The armourer figure. Hang on, so filament exposure metering failed because the laser reflection is too weak. It said that again, but it's still cracking on. So how finicky are these printers as we now take off and we start reaching that maximum velocity on the Creality printer as that thing shakes. Shake that thing, baby. This is like twerking in the 3D printing world right now. Ooh-wee. So the K1 was just going through it actually doesn't look too bad, but again, you can see that single perimeter line that they've put in there. This is how they've managed to get that 15 or 17 minute Benchy down, is by still delivering on good quality, but again, the X1 Carbon is having some issues at the moment. It's having a little cry. It's back on it again though. Here we go. Now I'm just wondering actually if it's also doing a... We're in ludicrous mode. I wondered for a second there if it's also doing a time lapse, which is why the head keeps moving out of the way, which is kind of annoying. Let's just double check that. See if I can get that setting sorted out. Video, let's turn the video off. It may or may not affect the print. It's weird that it keeps doing that. It wasn't doing that before, was it? But we are going super fast this time, so it could just be... The head is moving away because it skipped steps. Benchy is already sliced in ludicrous. Oh, okay. It could be the filament. This is what we're doing together. We're learning. I can see through the K1 print. Is that normal? Well, it depends how it's been sliced. So this Benchy has been sliced in one parameter. So they can get that 17 or 15 or 16 minute print. Again, the X1 Carbon. So it could just be, friends, that filament was a bit iffy. And just looking at the Benchy that's being printed on the X1 Carbon at the moment, it's printing, but it's not amazing. There is quite a significant layer line in the hull at the moment. But on the left-hand side with the K1, seems to be pushing forward at 16%. We are at 45% on the Benchy on the X1 Carbon. The K1, though, seems to be very much dominating at this point in time. My God, that is savage. I've got to be honest, it's better than the last one. So, in regards to sort of putting out our test here, I think we're going to have a filament issue, which is what caused that. So what we'll do then is we'll take the best of the bad bunch and we'll look at the green Benchy on the K1 and we'll look at the Benchy that we printed first using a slightly different filament. It's weird though because I don't think it's been exposed to anything like moisture in here. But yeah, it's definitely struggling on the right hand side at the moment. But K1 does look beautiful. I think the head is actually lighter, Chris. I think there is a stat that says that it's actually lighter. I don't have the crib sheet with me at the moment. But on the right hand side, the X1 Carbon is certainly struggling. I was going to turn it down then, but I just don't really want to. I want to see what finishes first. And it is a little bit neck and neck. Can I print the Benchy on the X1 Carbon? What I can do, and what I would prefer to do, is on Saturday, I would quite like to do that. And we slice them exactly the same on Prusa Slicer and also Bambu Slicer. And then we have a good comparison between the two. It probably won't be Benchies. We might have to come up with something a little bit more fascinating. Marvel, he's going to have to get both. Well, again, here's the thing. You know, already people have said, you know, it's not a fair comparison because you're not using a P1P, you're using an X1 Carbon. That is absolutely fine because I've got a couple of P1Ps here that I can literally just plug and play and we'd be really good to go. That being said, though, of course, maybe Orca Slicer. Yeah, absolutely. Won't the vibrations? No, I don't think they will. And if you saw the setup I've got here, I basically have 5 X1 Carbons. Sorry, I have 5 P1Ps in a line. They're on concrete blocks, but the prints out of them are actually very, very good. Here's the thing, though, with the potential faulty filament, the Bambu Labs is still printing better than the K1 did. So there's got to be something in that. Maybe it gets a special mention or a medal of some sort. Make a 3D dream. Love that name, by the way. It's not a bad idea to buy both. If you can afford to do it, buy both and then sell the one you don't like. So we have 11 minutes left, friends. We've got 5 minutes on the Benchy on the right-hand side, which is on the Bambu Labs X1 Carbon with the iffy filament, which is what we call it. On the left-hand side, obviously, we have the PLA from Polymaker, which is the green Polymaker silk. Certainly on Saturday, I think what we do, be joined by Phil from 3DP UK. We'll look at some of the other stuff, ABS. What else have I got here? I've got a load of Polymaker stuff here that has just come in. So we've got some ABS, we've got some ASA. I need to print some Voron parts, incidentally, so maybe we can sort something out. Yeah, so the nozzle on the K1 is a high flow nozzle, which I believe is proprietary. That being said, though, they are going to be doing a 0.6 and a 0.8 nozzle variant for this as well. Again, literally, this is my like 5th print on this printer, so it's certainly not an Ender 3 nozzle, put it that way. The K1 Benchy looks really nice. Yeah, I mean, again, you've got to look at it from a volume standpoint, Jared. You know, if you had a 4 kilo spool on the back of the K1, all right, you can't do multicolours, but you can still printing. And look at the volume there. Are you going to be able to fit 4 kilos on that bed? This time the X1 looks faster. It's printed the Benchy faster. We are in ludicrous mode as well. So, food for thought there. So are Creality actually maxing that 600 millimeters per second on this Benchy? Possibly not. And of course we are doubling up the layers on the Benchy on the right as well. 3 minutes left on the X1 Carbon, and we've got 9 minutes apparently left on the K1 Benchy. Interestingly enough, and unlike the other Benchies that we printed previously on the K1, you are going to be able to see a lot more detail, and if there's any ringing or if there's any kind of deviations on that filament, we hopefully will be able to see that with more clarity this time round. 129 people, 130 people watching this stream. Welcome along if you're new here. How you doing? So this is the comparison between the K1 and the X1 Carbon. I wasn't planning on doing a full live stream or anything crazy like this. I was literally just doing some short videos about something stupid, actually. This is on the main screen of the K1, and you can't really see that. I'll knock this down very quickly. So on here, I didn't see, because of the way that the wording is, I didn't see that there was a extrude button here and a cooling button. But it's there. So happy days. The other nice thing about this is that as the Benchy prints, it gives you a chart of how much is left. That's kind of nice. But I would rather see how fast the printer is going, so I can show off and tell everybody how fast my printer is. Of course, we don't really get that on this printer either. So, or do you? Let's have a look. No, you get it on Clipper though. I think I might need to clean the micro LiDAR. That's what it's asking for. Yeah, totally agree with you, Wexter. I don't know. Yeah, Cleo, you were totally right. It's weird though, because if you look at it, let me zoom in on that real quick. We've got a few minutes left anyway. Hang on, let me run down to this. Right, let me show you. So that's the setting, right? And you can see that it does say it, but it's sort of grayed out. but you actually have to push it. And then, of course, the wording, the letters don't quite fit in. Don't know how well you can see that or can't see that. Can you see how that looks a bit weird? Is it a good beginner printer, the K1? Time will tell. I do not know that answer to the question. It's very early doors. Let's get, what I would, personally, if you're looking to buy one of these, my best suggestion to you would be probably watch Nero's stream. In fact, definitely watch Nero's stream. And see what other people's experiences are like, because when you unbox one of these, and this is something that people often forget, when you get a printer out of the box, for me, it's all about the experience. So if I get it out of the box and it doesn't print well, then what am I to do about that? I can't go, oh, by the way, actually, it was really good when the experience was trash. So, I don't know. Wait and see what other people have got to say about this. I'm going to carry on pushing and printing. I'm going to set up Prusa Slicer this afternoon, and then I'm going to try and work out exactly what I'm doing here with these bits and pieces. Let's have a look. What's this here? Seeing messages come through slowly here. For me, the X1 was the thing that got me excited about 3D printing. Mate, honestly, Wexter, you know the crack with that, and I absolutely love the Bambus. Like, nothing's gonna. I'm not gonna go, oh, now I'm gonna get rid of them and buy a load of these. That's not gonna happen. But it's woken the market up, and what I think sometimes key influencers forget is that ultimately, these people that are creating these printers, it is a business for them. So it is about selling products. It's not about just giving stuff away for free. So if people think, oh, you know what, you got a free printer. Well, here's the problem. My day-to-day at work, where I should be working right now, I'm messing around with 3D printers. So essentially, it's costing my business money for me to be messing around with Benchies right now. So it is what it is. Now then, let's have a look at this Benchy. Now this is with bad filament. So we can do a comparison on good filament versus bad filament. So this is the Benchy that's just come out. And as you can see here, there is a very prominent line here and across here as well, okay? Here is the one out of the K1. That's with bad filament. So good filament on the X1 carbon comes out like this. Bad filament, this. Now what we're going to be able to do now is take this one and show you exactly what it looks like once this is finished printing, which, by the way, friends, is going to be in 3 minutes' time. Then I'm going to have some lunch. I'm going to end the stream, have some lunch, find out what I should be doing at work today. One of the big things that people aren't talking about right now is Creality's ability to be able to support product. Now, I've had a few experiences with Bambu where I was like, hey, this doesn't work, or that doesn't work, or how do I fix this? And I've gone through the support, and within a few days, they've come back to me, and it's great. Now, I'm also told that Prusa have the very best in customer service. But although I have owned Prusa printers in the past, I've never, ever had to contact their customer service. So I've got nothing to bear that off of. So again, it's like unboxing a printer. Have you got a good printer? Yes, I have. Have you got a bad printer? Yes, I have, and it's trash, and I hate it. And you're more than likely going to shout about something that you dislike than something that you do like. Just imagine if they both had the same file settings and the X1 wasn't having the filament issues. Well, that's what we're going to test. So that's going to be Saturday's stream. As I say, me and Phil, we're going to get on that. We're going to look at these printers. We're going to have the P1P out as well. Might even have two P1Ps out, and then we can just whack out these models super quick. We're now pushing into the final couple of minutes now. 94% on the Creality K1. I'll do a little zoom in on it as well, so you get a idea of where we're at. With 152 people watching, how mad is this? So you can see there are some weird lines inside of this, and there is a little bit of echoing or ghosting. And that's regardless of us doing the full calibration on this print. And you can see that around the hull here. And again, another comparison will be, you know, now I then print the same Benchy on the X1 Carbon. Well, we could do this all day. And it probably won't be that interesting, to be honest with you. Yeah, as I say, I love Prusa, I love Bambu, I love what Creality do. There are a couple of printing companies I don't like at all, and I just won't work with them. But Creality has been a staple diet for me for the last 5 years. I've had a lot of Creality printers that not only have been sent to me for review, but also that I've bought and used for years, especially on the R2 Builder side, and created robots and all sorts of crazy things with the... I think that we can let it go for a bit with the speed. Yeah, so here we go. So this is where we're at now, guys. So let's have a look at this Benchy and see what we got. So, let's zoom this out a little bit. And if you haven't seen Wexter's Patreon, you've got to Google that and find out what that crazy stuff is all about, because I love the stuff that he does. So I would say this is going to be a Benchy that has been sliced at 0.25 mil. It's a single layer, single parameter layer. You have got some ghosting going across here, which you can see, and that's not so unusual. I'd say here that on the corners of the ship itself aren't brilliant. Again, we've got a little bit more ghosting coming through here. The top part here isn't fabulous either. You can't see the logo or make out the logo at all on that. I'm not trying to trash this, I'm honestly not, but it's not as nice as this. Now, if we have a look at this, I don't really see any ringing on that. But again, it's going to be down to the fact that this is a silk filament. So I'm going to give it a little bit of a leeway there. But they're not bad. To be honest with you, they're not bad prints. And depending on what you're printing, and if you're like me, so I do a lot of modeling stuff. So I'll build something big, then I'll paint it. The quality is essential, but it's not, it doesn't have to be exact. So I'm pretty happy with that. Pretty happy with that. What do you guys think of that Benchy? I'm going to put it back on here just for a second. What do you think of that? Yeah, it could be the LiDAR sensor. I mean, I think there's a lot, there's a ton in this. And again, bad filament. Don't know if you've seen this. How many of you didn't know that I did that? Yes, I mean, it's okay. It's pretty good. Maybe the fast flow filament also has something to do with it. I will not print in white filament on the next couple of things. Maybe we'll reuse this green, and I'll do one on the X1 Carbon. Again, I'm doing stuff on Twitter as well. There's a cunning picture of me with the K1 with the AMS on top, and only one person's picked up on it. So that was kind of funny. Guys, thank you very much for joining me. This is the Creality K1. We've done the Benchy boat race between the two. It's been frills and spills. I only thought this would be basically a 20-minute stream, and it's been going on for ages. Thank you very much for joining me. Let me know in the comments what you think about this new printer. Do you think it stacks up against the Bambu Labs X1 Carbon or the P1P? And we will certainly be back, myself and Phil from 3DP UK. We're going to be back in this very studio on Saturday around 1 p.m. GMT. And we're going to be going through some more frills and spills. Thank you very much. Hope you've enjoyed the stream. Much love to you all. Peace and love. Take care, guys. Thanks for subscribing.